than
Yes.
Indianapolis.
Yes. Indiana has one thing. Alrighty. Well, anyways, welcome back to Wisco Fanatics Tuesday evening. Today we are talking about the Green Bay Packers. So we have a Packers-Panthers recap, kind of a injury added to insult situation. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, the game, the counting in the loss column isn't that huge of a deal. Obviously, it's one of those things where you want to win every single game you play, but the Packers are still at the top of the NFC North. So we're going to recap the game, and we'll preview their upcoming matchup with Philadelphia and talk about some of the other things going on with the Packers. But we'll hit the intro, and then we'll get going.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
Alrighty, so like I said, we're going to jump right in and just going through it. This is going to be obviously not super fun, but got to do it anyways. So let's start, Jake, with the pass rush from Sunday.
Yeah, pass rush was really disappointing, kind of lack thereof. We all talked last week about, the Panthers, getting the run game going, and that's really the engine that gets them going. Rico Dowdle's been really, really good since week 5 when he kind of took over as RB1 over there. And if you didn't pick him up in fantasy, a little side note, you might be screwed because that might be a league winner off the free agency waiver wire there. But back to real football, they allowed the Panthers to get the run game going, which didn't allow the pass rushers to really do their thing. And there was very few opportunities for the pass rushers to really make a big deal in this game. There was 1 sack in the game. It was also a forced fumble. It was by Xavier McKinney. And we had 1 quarterback hit. That was by Quay Walker. And we had 7 pressures total as a team. 3 of them came from Gary. 2 of them came from Enigbare. A couple players tied with 1. But honestly, the pass rush was non-existent. The offense wasn't consistent enough either to give the defense a rest. So this was really just a perfect storm for the Packers to collect an L. And the pass rush was a big reason why. Now, Tyler's going to go into more some D-line stuff and talk more about them as a whole. But I was a little disappointed they didn't make a move. I'll say that for the upfront unit because I have some thoughts on the D tackles, but I'm gonna let Tyler talk about the D line here.
Yeah. So with the D line, I couldn't tell any of them are out there. Obviously, they're physically on the field, but there's no pressure, no run stops, no impact. The Packers had 2 quarterback hits, like Jake said, and neither of them came from a defensive lineman. Parsons had the only tackle for loss for the Packers. And the only sack that the Packers had resulted in a 7-yard gain for the Panthers.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
It's just one of those kind of freak things. Like there's no really controlling which direction a fumble bounces, but it bounces into the hands of the Panthers who runs it forward. So like, it's just kind of one of those things where you kind of throw your hands up in the air and it's just like, all right, well, I guess I don't really know what else to do, but throw your hands up in the air. But I have some thoughts on the D-line, too, that I'm going to save for the preview because it involves some of the guys who weren't playing in this game. So,
do you mind if I jump in and say something?
Go for it.
I really thought the Packers should have made a move for a D tackle. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, but my real thoughts about it is I like Colby Wooden and I like Carl Brooks, but I really don't think that they're starter caliber players on a Super Bowl contender.
Not together.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done. And you think about the 2 games that the Packers fans are most frustrated about. Yes, the Cowboys game was a little frustrating. There was a lot of stuff that happened in that game. The 2 games that you really think about, though, are this Panthers game because you're at home. You're coming off back-to-back wins. You're hoping that they learn from the previous bad loss, which was the Cleveland Browns. What's the common denominator in that game? The B-gap was wide open all day, and we could not stop it, could not defend it. And that, to me, has a lot to do with D-tackle play. You got to be able to get over and fight over these guards. When we let these guards get going, they're able to get up to the second level, up to our linebackers, and they're able to just gash us for big-time runs. So D-tackle, to me, is the second biggest weakness on this Packers team.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are selling everyone. You telling me we couldn't get Harrison Phillips out of there for a 7th or something? Like,
I'm saying, dude, they should have made one more depth piece move at D-line.
Yeah, and we'll talk about health a little bit, too. That's something that I'm going to bring up when we get into the preview. But
I still do think there's a chance that a few veterans could ask for the release. And
yeah, there's still opportunities. That stuff kind of happens after the trade deadline anyways.
Right. I get it's just not one of those things you want to have to rely on. You don't want to be like, okay, yep, it's not. I don't think the buyout market in the NFL or the release market is quite as big of a deal as it is in the NBA, where it's like, okay,
I'll say this: it's too bad that Calais Campbell. It seems like he's just fine losing. Carolina, I mean, the Cardinals have been okay. They just won a game, but they're not. Let's be honest. No one thinks they're Super Bowl contenders. It's like, if you haven't won a Super Bowl, like you don't want to go somewhere. Like he would have been like the perfect addition for us.
Dude, they're in a crazy division too, man. I mean, the 49ers, nobody can figure out, but they win.
Seattle looks good.
Seattle looks amazing.
The Rams look amazing.
I'm telling you, the Rams might be the best team in the
that's
NFL.
The other thing that kills me is that Seattle, the Rams, and Seahawks all made moves. And then you had to be fair to the Green Bay Packers, we just made the biggest trade of the entire season 2 months ago.
Right.
None of the things that happened today, other than the Jets picking up a lot of picks, none of them were bigger than the Micah Parsons trade. So if we're being realistic and optimistic about it, people wanted things to happen today. I wanted things to happen today. Jake clearly wanted something to happen today. Simon was I was on board with Simon. I still wanted something to happen, but Simon being realistic was like, really, we're not going to do much. Now for me, we need the middle picks now, like the 2 to 5 are probably pretty important to us the next couple of years. We need to hold on to as much as we can, being as we need to build around younger players because we have a lot of cap hits from these great players. But if we could have got a Harrison Phillips for a 6 or 7 or a cornerback or something like that, or a Trevor Penning who could have, used a change of pace, who's going to be a free agent for a 6th or 7th round pick, that's something I would have liked to see us dip our toes into.
Yeah. I mean, they did one of those things too with Darian Kennard. They picked him up for like a late round pick. Yeah. I mean, they did some of those things. It's like, there's stuff done. There's rumors also too, but we'll address that in the preview as well. So, Simon, how did you feel about the run defense?
I mean, it wasn't good, but obviously I think Dowdle had a pretty big day. But, I mean, he really killed us on a couple long runs. Other than that, I didn't think it was terrible. I just think there were opportunities to get them off the field that didn't end up happening. And that was what really ended it. Because 11 of their rush attempts so they had 33 rush attempts. 11 of them went for first downs. And Dowdle had 2 carries that ended up going long for a total of 48 yards. And I mean, Chuba Hubbard wasn't really a factor, but there was just it was like they got first downs when they needed them the most versus our defense. So I think the numbers are bad, but there were times when the run defense stepped up and they just didn't finish. And I think that was kind of the story of this game is execution when it mattered the most. Especially when we go into the offense, we'll probably talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. You got more yet?
No, that was it for run defense.
Bryant, linebackers and tackling.
Yeah, I mean, in full transparency, everybody watching us, I've been super swamped, haven't had a chance to do a huge breakdown, but I was there in person. Unfortunately, watched the biggest probably upset in betting history and Green Bay's history, so that was wonderful. I thought. In person, they're one of the big runs. I'm pretty sure Quay, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, it looked like he way over pursued one of them and left a huge hole on one of the bigger runs earlier in the game. So a couple of them, and I just felt like the tackling, I didn't look up the numbers, so I apologize, but there's a couple times it's like if they just bring them down, we're in a good 5 missed tackles, but those 5 misses are pretty big because, like Simon said, I kind of let them get the running game rolling. I feel like they're running the ball pretty good on first down too. Several times kind of got us into trouble. And then of course at the end of the game, I mean, I feel like we should know a run is coming there. They haven't thrown the ball at us all day. We need to be inviting them to throw the ball there. And we let him run up the middle to get into field goal range for a 20-something yard run or whatever it was. I feel like that's inexcusable. The linebackers need to be right there in the middle. What are you doing? Let them throw. If they're going to throw there, let Bryce Young, who threw for 100 yards in the game, beat you there. You cannot let Rico, who's been beating you. We literally said this coming into the game, and I said it. How do you lose to a crappy team? You lose a turnover battle. You let them run all over you. And stupid penalties are stupid special teams, and that's exactly what happened.
The one correction I'll make is that last run by Rico Dowdle was actually the fault of Evan Williams. He's the one that missed the hole. He went inside when he was supposed to have the outside zone. Linebackers did a really good job on that play. That was Evan Williams' fault.
Okay.
I mean, I also don't think Quay had that good of a game in
He
general.
was the worst graded
Yeah.
defender on the Packers.
Yeah, Quay wasn't
Doesn't
very
surprise me.
Yeah. Shoving people on the sidelines or whatever happened there. And
Yeah, it's one of those things where like everybody's entitled to have a bad game. It's just it would be nice if it didn't all happen at once.
Yeah.
All right,
Range of course.
third and fourth down defense.
Yeah, third and fourth down. So we held them to 4 for 10 on third down, but they were 2 for 2 on fourth down. So a couple of times when we stopped them on third down and they were third and short, they ended up picking up the fourth down. So in the first half, they were 2 for 6. The first 3 third down attempts they had, they actually passed the ball, which was surprising to me. And then the last 3, they ran the ball. Success rate, they were 0 for 1 in third and short area. The first third and short they had, they got stopped a yard short. And then the fourth down they picked up was the 4-yard scramble by Bryce Young, where Bryce Young was literally pointing for a first down while he's still on the field of play. And then he gets shoved by Edrin Cooper, and everybody's freaking out like he made an illegal play. Also, what the hell is Greg Olsen looking at? Oh, he's way out of bounds. He's way
on the
past
ground.
the
It was not even
On the
close.
bounds line.
Like, bro, his second foot, his third step hit inbounds. What are you looking at, my guy? Oh
People
my
would-
God!
oh, they knew he was going out of bounds. It's like, no, the defense is told to hit the quarterback if he's in bounds.
I don't care.
You
Hit
don't
him.
want to get hit out of bounds. Don't fucking start jogging as you're 3 yards away from the sideline.
he was in bounds. 100% hit him.
Dude, you're
just
telling me you're
biased
going to
from
wave a piece of steak in front of a
Greg Olsen.
lion and it's not going to try to eat it? Get the hell out of here with that. I was freaking out. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this is
'cause
going to be a long-ass
that-
game, dude.
Then you get the BS Mahomes crap where he kind of slows down and
Yeah.
then cuts back inside. It's like,
Yeah, no. Hit his ass.
yeah, I'd rather hit him. Take the 15-yard penalty or whatever.
That was actually a good officiating call to pick that flag up.
Yeah.
It is. So then in the third medium area, they went 2 for 2. In the third medium area, we actually forced an interception on one of them that they missed. That was a good play call. That was where McKinney was kind of playing like a superstar, like he did last year, where he forced a fumble and then a couple plays later he ended up with an interception. That was a good play call. That was the double blitz with Quay and Edrin Cooper, which I know that it feels like Hafley wants to get away from blitzing. He really wants to be able to just get home with 4, and I understand that. That's kind of the other reason why I felt like they should have made a move for a D tackle, because the way they want to play defense, the way he wants to coach it is he wants to rush 4 and drop 7, right? And just not able to do that on this Sunday. And he called a blitz and a good play happened. I thought we should have maybe blitzed a little bit more because you're stopping the run if you blitz as well. Third and long, they went 0 for 1 in the first half. Get to the second half, they were 2 for 4, 2 runs, 2 passes. So they did a nice job mixing up the play calls. The 2 that they picked up were in the third and short area. They were 0 for 1 in the third and medium, 0 for 1 in the third and long area. But they did end up, like I said, picking up the fourth down when they did get stopped in that third and medium. So it was just, again, this was just like a perfect storm for the Packers to lose this game. This game was just frustrating all the way around. Offense, defense, special teams didn't help us. And I know Brian's going to have a field day because you know what? If I had special teams, I would have a goddamn field day today. But it is what it is. Third down, I thought they did good. Fourth down, you got to get them off the field. It is what it is.
Yep. Simon, how'd you feel about the secondary? Scott said he just heard they were trying to pick up Asante Samuel Jr. We'll talk about that in the preview part, Scott. Simon, how'd you feel about the secondary?
It was fine. I mean, they only attempted 18 passes, 102 yards through the air, and then McKinney had that interception, red zone. Bryce Young only ended up with a pass rating of 53.5. I don't know. Like, if you looked at, like, the numbers, you would just assume we won this game.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's so frustrating seeing, like, 300 – I'm getting into it a little bit – 300 and some yards of offense. And then it's just like, how did we lose this game? Bryce Young didn't do anything special. And this kind of takes me off a little bit. Someone's like, Bryce Young's 2-0 against us. I'm like, Bryce Young is not responsible for that win whatsoever. I mean, he made a couple nice throws. I'll give him that. Yeah. But he didn't put the Panthers on his back and carry us. I thought the secondary played a little fine-ish.
What happened on that play that Carrington Valentine almost intercepted? Because I swear it went through his hands, but I didn't see the replay on TV.
Actually, I think the receiver dropped that one.
Yeah.
No,
it got past Valentine.
It was early in the game, but Ted McMillan caught it.
Yeah, Tet literally just took the ball out of Valentine's hands. That's literally what happened. It was just Tet being a big wide receiver.
I'm thinking of one on the sideline.
It was early in the game.
Yeah, no, that was the one over the middle. That was nice coverage by Valentine. You can't really blame him for that.
That was Tet being a beast.
Yep.
So the secondary was fine. I thought Hobbs had not a super great day, but he wasn't like a liability. How could you be a liability when they only complete 10 passes? But
it's a great question.
He's out for a few weeks now. So
yeah, that'll be interesting to see how Green Bay deals with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be Nixon and Valentine, but I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. My dad asked why we didn't force Bryce to throw the run game kill, but that's the Panthers playing to their strengths. Like,
yep.
They know what they're good at. So
you hear that, LaFleur? Playing to their strengths. That's crazy how coaches play to their team's strengths.
Oh, you better hold your horses, Jake. You're going to get me all riled up.
Dude, I let everybody have it.
Not time for it yet. And I moved it to the end because I wanted to talk about the offense first. So
I let the old man walking out of the stadium that told me we needed to fire our DC have it.
Oh, my. Nope. That was not. Nope. Oh.
I mean, that's not even the dumbest thing I've seen all week. So,
honestly, that makes it a little bit more sad, Simon. So, thanks for ruining my day even more.
You're welcome. I've seen some pretty stupid stuff over the last couple of days.
Yeah, Twitter is not a great place after losses because then people get delusional.
Twitter's not a great place after wins.
Honestly, the crazy part is, like, if we're looking at this at a realistic, like, optimistic point, like we want to, we lost a game we should have 100% won. Somehow we're 5-2-1 in our losses against the Panthers and Browns. That goes without saying that this has been a trend we've been talking to about years. We play down to our competition, and I don't know why we can't get up for these games. We look lackadaisical. But if you look at the NFL, yeah, it sucks that we didn't take advantage of stuff. But guess what? The Lions just lost to the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy in Detroit. Indy picked up. There's not a single team in the NFL that does not have at least 2 losses.
It's weird, too, with the Packers, like the playing down to the competition thing, because that's not who they were last year. Last year, they beat everybody they were supposed to and lost to the strong opponents.
The biggest thing that's concerning me is great teams, Super Bowl teams, for the most part, you see them beat the hell out of a couple teams every year, like especially teams like this. I have not. Now, I'll say the second half against Pittsburgh, we dog walked them. Yeah. We absolutely dog walked a 5-2 team the second half, but I have not seen it for a full game yet, and I want to see that.
That's the same as last year, too. We dog walked the 49ers and the Seahawks.
And the Cardinals.
Very true.
And the Cardinals, convincingly. That's just not something we've seen this year. And I don't know.
I mean, they had all the hot starts at the beginning of the season.
You could almost say we dog walked Detroit a little bit the first game, but
I consider that dog walking because they didn't score until late in the game and put it in 2 possessions.
Both of those games had garbage time touchdowns.
Yeah.
But right now we're just not doing that, and I don't know if we're having a lull. What the issue is, and now we lost literally our attitude leader on the field. So hopefully someone's ready to step up.
Yeah. Alrighty. Red zone defense.
Yeah, red zone defense wasn't super good either. First attempt, they threw 2 passes and had a run. First pass attempt was the forced fumble by McKinney. I really just want to know what the hell Devontae Wyatt was doing. Honestly, he first he tried to catch the ball in the air, which I understand, but then instead of staying focused on task, and this would go for Quay too if you rewatch the play. Both of them are kind of just looking at the ball and just like, oh man, you almost had it, and then the Panthers player picks it up, and I'm like, you guys are not locked in today. They were not locked in. They were not. That shit was making me so mad when I rewatched it. I rewatched it twice.
Did they not have a chance to pick up that fumble that got knocked forward? I felt like they did, but
dude, they did. That's what I'm trying to say. Is Devontae Wyatt went like this, and then instead of like trying to go for the ball that he missed, he just went like this and was like, "Oh no, I missed it." I'm like, dude, go get the ball. It's still live, dude.
Assume that it's live.
I don't understand, but whatever. And then after that play, they forced a negative 2-yard run, and then the play after that was the good pressure, and they forced an interception. The second attempt, they threw 3 passes, had 3 runs. Bryce Young went 1 for 3 for 8 yards, and then they had 3 runs. And they ended up scoring a touchdown. Third attempt, Bryce Young threw 2 passes. He went 1 for 2 for 8 yards. So in total in the red zone, he was 2 for 4 for 16 yards, had a fumble and an interception, and we gave up 2 fucking touchdowns, dude. We gave up 2 touchdowns in the red zone, and he had 16 goddamn yards and a turnover. What the hell is going on? I mean, now obviously in the third attempt, we ended up getting into a 3rd and goal, and there was a PI called on Nixon again. My God, keep your hands off people, Keyshawn. Good Lord, how many more PIs can you get called for?
Let me say something here. On the other side of the field, completely away from Nixon and everyone, a flag went up on the snap, on the sideline from the side judge that could definitely not see that play. And they didn't say anything. I don't even know if they mentioned it on the TV, but there was a flag on the field, and there was no way that he could have seen the PI on the side of the field. So I don't know if there's a penalty that they just picked up and decided it wasn't a penalty, but they never explained it.
Well,
I thought it was going to be offsetting penalties, to be honest.
The only thing they did on the TV is they said there's multiple flags on the field, and then the only thing they announced was a PI on Nixon. And I'm like, of course. And then
the other flag was literally on the other side of the field from Nixon. There's no way that was what the call was being made.
No,
so
yeah, I agree, but this is what we're left with. We can't change the past, and allowing a quarterback to have a turnover in 4 pass attempts, and he only completes 2 of them, and you give up 2 touchdowns, that is backbreaking stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of backbreaking stuff, Brian, how did you feel about special teams?
I'm sick of Rich Bisaccia being the number 1 paid special teams coach or whatever in the NFL. It's time. This is one of Matt LaFleur's flaws. I feel like is he refuses to move on from his friends until their contracts expire. He doesn't want to fire anybody. This dude should have been fired.
Got extended.
It's just awful. Like I couldn't see the kick because I was on the sideline. I know he missed to the left. I don't know how bad of a miss it was. Was it? You know what I mean? So yeah,
it wasn't that bad,
not terrible.
Probably it was, but it was 44 yards, right? 40-something yards. He needs to make it.
I think it was 44.
He does need to make it. I agree with that.
He needs
Close
to make
enough that he should be automatic. I mean, when we signed him, it was because he was like 100% for like the last
from 49 and in, he was like
92%
92% or something like that. At this point, I think they need to bench him against Philly.
They're not going to do it.
I know they're not going to do it, but that's because Matt LaFleur's he doesn't have a backbone to make a fucking call. They should do a kicking competition in practice this whole week. And I mean, they're keeping Havlicek on the freaking roster for a reason. So, look, I forgive McManus for missing a 57-yarder or whatever. That's a tough kick in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Scott said McManus is still hurt, I think, which is fine. But honestly, what I like that McManus is doing is he's doing great on the kickoffs.
The kickoffs were great. But the fact that he missed the kick was awful. And I'll say, and I won't even blame Rich or them on this one, the 4th and 8 call is absolutely awful. The call before that is absolutely awful. And then Matt LaFleur saying yesterday, oh, I thought we had a play we could score on 4th and 8. Really, dipshit? Then why didn't you call it on 2nd or 3rd down?
Hold on.
Sorry.
After the offense.
And then you need to kick the field goal there. I'll say Savion looks good on returns. I'm still pleased with that.
Yep.
Punts were fine.
Good with Dobbs on punt returns. Yep.
The one he let bounce, I'm like, pick it up and let's go. A little nerve-wracking, but other than that, he was fine on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I don't understand what they don't understand.
Yep.
I disagree with none of what you said, just so you know.
And it's like, I feel like when Matt LaFleur is supposed to be aggressive, he's conservative. And when he's supposed to be conservative, he's aggressive.
Good.
He needs to hire someone that's...
Hold on. Save the Matt LaFleur shit. We have a segment for it. We're getting sidetracked.
Fire everybody.
The miss was 43 yards.
It was.
Getting too sidetracked. We're going to have a whole segment. An airing.
Hire Mike McDaniels.
So, well, he's got to get fired first.
It's coming. Come on.
Okay.
Let's not pretend.
We should have called Miami and said, we'll take your 4th and McDaniels from you for our 7th. So, but okay, yeah. Special teams, I'm so sick of it.
Yeah. All right. Let's go into the offense and start with tight ends.
All right, it's gonna make me cry.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just start with what happened first. Kraft ended his day 2 for 20 before the 3rd quarter. Honestly, after that, I thought Musgrave played pretty decent. He had a couple good catches.
Yeah.
A little bit after the run, he didn't look bad. He ended up with 3 for 34. Fitzpatrick didn't really do anything in the receiving game. Honestly, like this. What was that?
My phone. Sorry.
Oh,
Sound like a horn.
I thought it was like a piano.
It's my son. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I really hope this like kind of forces an action, kind of like the first year when we lost Musgrave for his period of time, and it kind of forced Tucker Kraft into more playing. I kind of hope it has the opposite effect where we're now forced to play Musgrave more than maybe the coaches wanted to, and that might force better play out of him. But we really need him to become kind of like that underneath guy. It's pretty crucial to the way this offense has operated the last month, where I mean they're taking away like the deep stuff from us, and Kraft has operated really well on the underneath stuff for the most part. So I'm hoping Musgrave can kind of pick it up, but losing Kraft for this offense is just honestly, outside of Jordan Love and Micah Parsons, you could argue that he would be like the number one guy that would like suck to lose on this team.
Like maybe McKinney, but
when I looked, I could see that I was like 100% like he was laying sideways when I see him on the field, but I had looked down and I was like, that's Tucker Kraft. I can just tell by like his body shape, and I think I could see the tattoos on his arm. Like you can just tell that it's like, you know what I mean? I love Tucker Kraft. I know his body. I looked around. I said, I'm pretty sure that's Tucker Kraft. And I literally said, please don't be Tucker Kraft. And then they announced as Tucker Kraft. I was looking for him. I was trying to see if I could see him on the sidelines, and it was just like an audible like deflation in the whole stadium. Like
I was really hoping it was like something like minor, like an MCL or PCL or something, where it's like 3 to 5 weeks and we could get him back for the playoffs. And even after the game where it was like, oh, I think Tucker Kraft has an ACL and they didn't know yet. You still kind of had to wait for the Monday. But yeah, but on the bright-ish side, obviously losing him is terrible. But I feel like on a normal recovery timeline, he should be back in time for the season opener next year.
Fairly
speaking, obviously all injuries aren't the same and they still have to do the whole recovery process. So, but hopefully he can make it back for the season opener next year. He was on his way to having a Pro Bowl, almost all pro type season.
He was going to be a 1,000-yard receiver at tight end.
Yeah, he was having a great year. I'll say the one thing. First of all, Simon, that was really big brain. I didn't think about that. I didn't even take that angle. That's beautiful. Secondly, the one thing that's going for Tucker Kraft, for him being back on opening day, like you're saying, obviously a guy coming from a small town, coming from nothing, so you're going to be a hard worker to come back. So I do think that he will be ready for the first game next year. No way he misses opening day next year. After the post that he made, just saying.
It just depends on his body. Ask Brian.
Yeah.
Ask Brian about his body. We'll see.
Yeah. I will give him my bad knee for his.
Dude, he can have my ACL right now.
Yeah.
Bro, just rip it out. You don't even have to do this surgery. Just rip it out.
Like if there was legitimately an option where like God came to me and said, if I tear your ACL right now and repair Tucker Kraft's, are you okay with that? I'd like hit me with a truck, dude.
I think you would find an alarmingly high number of people that would say yes to that question.
Bro, when Rogers broke his collarbone, I was like, dude, you can take both of them. Just take the whole thing out.
Give him back.
Tucker Kraft ends up with 112,000 ACLs.
Oh shit! I might have to poll that and put a poll up and see, would you give your ACL for Tucker Kraft, just to see how many people say yes.
If that doesn't get 100% yes rate, get him off the page.
Steve said, I feel like sometimes injuries like this force Matt LaFleur to reach into his bag instead of just letting the Joes go. He said Robert Tonyan was schemed open a lot in one of Rodgers' MVP years, waiting for that to happen with Musgrave. David on YouTube said Musgrave needs to live up to his draft position now, but getting Reed back will help with underneath routes. Yeah, that's still probably still 4 or 5 weeks away yet, but
Well, maybe he was on the sideline catching balls on the jugs machine, and I was pretty surprised to hear that. I'm like, damn. So but the big thing is his foot, right?
The foot, that's the bigger.
So, I'll say this: I think Musgrave will be fine receiving the ball, and I don't think he was on the field a lot because of his blocking. Now I think he's going to be forced to be on the field, and I think we're going to see some receptions out of him because he has that ability, and he's fast, and he can stretch the field for sure.
He made a nice hands catch on Sunday too.
Yeah, and when you have, I mean, that's who Jordan went to on a big third down was Luke Musgrave. So, we have Matthew Golden out there praying he can play this game because we're going to need him, because I haven't heard anything about Wicks. And then, but with Golden, Musgrave, and Watson, we still have a lot of speed on this team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, plenty.
Just keep going on the wide receivers.
Yeah. So wide receivers, I thought they played pretty well. I think unfortunately Matthew Golden took that big hit and got landed on. And I was like, oh my God, he's small. Hopefully he's all right. And then of course I didn't see him the rest of the game. I will say that diving catch, that would have been a hard ass catch, but probably one he should have had from at least what I could see. I mean, it looked like it hit him in the hands when I seen it on the board.
Yeah.
Board on the replay. Don't get me wrong. Would have been a tough catch. Would have been an amazing catch. One you'd like to see him bring down. Christian Watson, really nice catch on that free play. It's not on him that Jordan Love forced it to him in triple coverage. I don't think there's much he could have done to try to get over to get that ball. It was really, I don't know if wind affected that ball. Possibly. It was super windy out. I mean, you seen the ball blowing off the tee. Actually, in the first half of the game, the wind nearly wasn't bad. It really picked up in the second half. Dobbs, just consistent, like always, 7 catches for like 90-something yards. He did well. And then Savion, man, he just cannot fumble there. Like, it's one of the, like, that could be the game-changing play if he doesn't fumble there and we get 3 points there. You know what I mean? Butterfly effect, but that's just a huge, huge play in that situation. But I mean, for the Packers, it's hard to win that game too. You lose Tucker Kraft. They take Christian Watson off the field. He looked frustrated. He's like, "What are you taking me off the field for? I'm just fine." And so he missed the rest of that drive. And then you have Matthew Golden going out. So then all of a sudden we see Bo Melton out there getting a bunch of snaps at wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. He can play wide receiver, but he hasn't been doing that this year. So, overall, I thought the wide receivers held their own and tried to weather it as much as they could. No obvious drops or anything. I think, Matthew Golden, if you really want to count that against him, the dude was horizontal. It's probably a ball he would say he needs to catch. I don't want to hear everyone crying that he doesn't get chances. He had a chance to make a big play right there, and he didn't make it. And then he got hurt. I have a feeling he would have been a lot more involved in this game if he was not hurt.
Yep.
So, overall, decent game by the wide receivers.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate, like you said, like in a game where Wicks isn't playing. Obviously, Reed's not playing. Watson gets forced off the field. It's like, if there was going to be a time where it was like, all right, we have to go to Matthew Golden because it's only him and Dobbs. It's all we got left.
Yeah.
And then he's not out there either. And it's not his fault. Like, you can't control when you get hurt. But it's one of those things where, like I said, that kind of everybody had a bad game at the same time. We also lost a bunch of guys at the same time.
Yep.
All in that pass catching room. So Jordan Love still threw the ball to 10 different players. All 10 of those players had at least one reception. I think people will see the bad interception that Jordan Love threw and think that Jordan Love sucked on the deep balls. But he was 3 for 5 on 20-plus yard throws. And I'm going to save some of my other things that I want to say about Jordan Love when we get into the coaching aspect, because I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate on that. Now, Jordan Love was 3 for 6 on 10 to 19-yard throws, had one turnover-worthy play. That was the 4th and 8 throw. And that situation, and I'm seeing people being like, this is the worst throw of all time. You know what? Pin in it. We're going to talk about that when we talk about Jordan Love.
Okay, good, because I was going to say something about that too.
0 to 9, Jordan Love was 15 for 17. Behind the line of scrimmage, he was 5 for 7. 24 of his 37 passes were 9 yards or shorter. This is not what I meant when I said to let Jordan Love sling it. This is not a situation where all attempts are created equal. Because Jordan Love had the same number of pass attempts that he had against Pittsburgh, against Carolina, and it did not feel that way at all. 65% of his passes were shorter than 10 yards.
I mean, that's got to be pretty parallel to the like. I'm not trying to cut in and say you're wrong or whatever, but that's got to be pretty parallel to what happened in the Pittsburgh game, though.
The Pittsburgh game, I believe, his ADOT was
much lower,
half yard short. But let me tell you, the 3 deep balls that he threw 45 yards down the field are doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Sure.
Again, like when we're looking and seeing that 24 out of 37 passes, 2/3 of his passes are within 10 yards. Steve said 40-yard bombs or screens. That's going to be the devil's advocate that I'm going to play when we get to Jordan Love. So, Bryant, how did you feel about the O-line?
No, I mean, Morgan getting blown up on that like quickly or smoked on that sack wasn't great. And then too many damn holding calls, man. And they were legitimate holding calls. When I seen the replays, I was like, you can't even. I was mad because they were calling a bunch of penalties against us, and I felt like we weren't getting any of them called for us until later in the game. But, I mean, 3 holding calls is just drive killers. Like, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Actually, there was another one they declined because we had a 3-yard or 4-yard loss on the play. So there was like 4 holding calls on the offensive line. It sucks. I don't know what to think about Banks at this point. Dude can't stay healthy. I don't know what the injury was. What did they say it was? Stinger. Yeah, it's something different every week with him. So it's like his 6th different injury now he'll be listed on the injury report with or something like that. So, that means Ryan had to play the whole game too. And we see when Ryan gets chopped down at his knees, he kicks backwards and decides to blow Tucker Kraft's ACL. I mean, he didn't know that was going to happen. Devil's advocate, he didn't know that was going to happen, but
I don't think it's fair to give Ryan shit.
Yeah, I'm not
blaming Ryan, but like
I've seen some people do it. I don't think it's
maybe
fair.
just shove the guy's face into the ground instead of jumping backwards and where there's plays going on behind you.
There's no way that you're processing somebody diving.
Yeah, you can't.
And knowing that there's
you're right. You can't process it that much.
Yeah,
so it's not on him. It's just a crappy situation.
Yes.
If you look at PFF, honestly, this is another thing where Simon's talking about too, where it's like all the stats say we should have won. All their PFF grades are all positive for the most part. Like they all played what they say was a good game. However, I felt like in the big moments they got beat. And like that 4th down, Jordan Love was scrambling pretty quickly in that play.
That's not even an offensive line issue though. If you rewatch that play, they covered the Packers receivers pretty decently. Yeah. And I know we'll get to it, but that's just Jordan Love buying time to try to hit someone downfield.
Okay, so maybe he moved out of the pocket earlier than you do. I also thought looking at it, I thought he had a chance to run for a little bit, but I think he would have been caught.
He would have been caught.
Yeah, from the guy coming from the side.
Yep.
But overall, I don't think we didn't lose this game because of the offensive line. I think we are running the ball effectively. But however, Emmanuel Wilson is a very hot and cold player. When he's not on, stop giving him the damn ball.
Strongly agree.
Like he had 1 run for 7 yards. The rest of them went for like 8 yards total. The other 5 or 6 carries. It's like, stop. You can look that up. Go ahead, Mr. Simons.
No,
he had 1 long of 7 yards, and then his other 5 carries went for like 9 yards or something like that. And he wasn't getting any room. And like he's dropping balls and everything else. Where's Chris Brooks? He had 1 play, and it was a good play in this game.
I thought he had a couple receptions.
Yeah, well, no, I think it was only the 1.
He had at least 2 catches.
Oh,
was that at least 2?
I think it was. I remember.
He definitely had like 2 receptions because I remember one of them was really good. Yeah, he had 2 receptions for 24 yards.
Okay, the 1 was a big play on the first down down. But what I'm saying, I mean, like I would like to see Chris Brooks get a carry or 2 at this point. If Wilson starts slow, he's not like where like running backs like Jacobs or Henry, or you just keep pounding the ball with them and eventually they break one. I feel like Wilson's like he's either on or he is not, and I feel like he was off again. And I feel like we gave him the ball too many times, to be honest. And he wasn't where Jacobs was doing really well with the run game, averaging like 5 yards carry. Wilson couldn't get anything going. So, but overall, I think the offensive line played decent.
His other carries did go for 9 yards. He had a long of 7, and his other carries went for 9 yards. And Josh Jacobs did average 5.1 yards per carry. So,
and Wilson's at like 2.6 or 7.
Yeah, Wilson wasn't good.
Yeah.
Simon, anything else you want to add into the running game? I know Sam said it in the comments too, and yeah.
Yeah, just kind of adding on to, I mean, the running game was this was in my opinion, a decent week for the running game. I know Emmanuel Wilson's bad, I shouldn't say bad. He wasn't good in this game, but this is what you get from Emmanuel Wilson. He's not going to be like a guy that forces a ton of missed tackles. He's going to be look for the open hole, hit the open hole, get as much as you can, go down. That's kind of what you're getting out of Emmanuel Wilson. Yeah. And it's not necessarily
that kind of game. Then you got to put Brooks in there who can break some tackles.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, there are going to be good games from like last week where he sees open holes and he has the burst to get through, but like he's not going to get extra yardage. Yeah.
And that's just kind of his game. Watching over the last couple of years, we really his strength I feel like is getting him outside and letting him get around the corner because he's fast and he can get.
But we don't have the offensive line to run those long plays.
I don't agree with that. I think Zach Tom can get out. I think
Zach Tom's fine. It's just the other pieces I don't feel like are there. And maybe you could now if we get Dontavian Wicks back and we can get some wide receiver help. Now, especially now that Tucker Kraft's gone and Musgrave's not necessarily known for his blocking, if we can get Wicks back and Christian Watson out to the right side, I think we can maybe run some of those outside plays.
I feel like you could do that with Malik Heath and Christian Watson and do some tosses to the right and let them three get out there and block. I'm just saying they need to change something up a little bit.
I don't think this team's equipped for it, and I think we've seen it a lot this year. I think it just really depends.
If you're running that outside, like the outside pitch, the way outside runs. Honestly, right now, Christian Watson and maybe Romeo Doubs are the only ones I trust. Because we saw late in the game, and we'll talk about it again. I'll save it for the red zone part, but Malik Heath, I don't trust it.
Malik Heath is 1,000% better blocker than Romeo Doubs.
Which is fine, but to the point of what we've said this game, with this game specifically, and it's probably why I'm still salty about it, is because of this game specifically, is making the plays when it mattered. Yeah. And when it mattered, Malik Heath got pushed 4 yards into the backfield for a -3 yard gain when we're in the red zone trying to go sideways on 3rd and 3.
I mean, I get that, but Romeo Doubs was the one that got fucking crushed when Savion Williams fumbled the ball, dude.
Well, Savion Williams didn't have to run into his own guy's back either.
He's not expecting his guy to be in his face. Doubs needs to block better.
He also needs to hold on to the football.
I get that too, but Doubs was horrible in that play. He got fucked up.
Yeah, that's why I said, for the most part, Christian Watson's really the only guy that I'm trusting.
I think we can all agree they just need to do something. I think they need to at least try something a little bit different in the running game. And I agree with Simon. You're exactly correct. Where Wilson is the best when he sees the hole and he just explodes. And I think Matt LaFleur needs to do a better job of identifying it. I should stop, Tyler. I think Matt LaFleur needs to identify. Matt LaFleur needs to identify it better. That okay, this might not be a Wilson game because we're not going to be able to block that well, and we need to do something different. And so he probably doesn't need 8 or 9 touches this game.
Yep,
he's not that. He's our 7th or 8th best playmaker on offense. He doesn't need 8 or 9 touches or whatever he ended up with.
Yep, I'd rather see Savion getting the ball out of the backfield. To be honest with you,
I don't know if I'd go there. I just Chris Brooks, please, give him a shot. You have Pierre Strong on the freaking practice squad. If you need to call him up for a game because he's explosive, do that.
Patrick Taylor's probably still out there. Scott asked when Lloyd is coming back. Honestly, based on Matt LaFleur's comments, I don't even know.
Next year.
I think it's just like
I'm wondering.
I think it's kind of over with him for this year.
I wonder if they're doing the same thing where they sent Christian Watson down to get studied for his hamstrings and stuff. I wonder if
he did that.
Oh, Lloyd was one of the ones that did that?
Lloyd did that this past offseason, I feel like. Or someone did it. Maybe
I know a second player was. I couldn't remember.
Watson and Stokes.
Yeah, that was – but then I thought this past offseason Lloyd did the same thing.
Okay, well then he just needs to figure out to get healthy. He also looks like a 40-year-old man, so maybe his body feels like that.
All righty. Okay. let's move into 3rd and 4th down offense.
All right, so Packers 7 for 13 on 3rd downs. Again, this is one of those situations where Simon was talking about. You look at these numbers and you're just like, how the hell did they lose this game? 2 for 3 on 4th down as well. I think we heard Bryant's opinion on the 4th and 8 call, so I don't think I need to add anything extra into that one. But just going off 3rd downs, first half, they were 3 for 5 in 4 of the 5 attempts they had. They threw the ball. In the second half, they had 5 attempts on 3rd down. They threw the ball every single time. So they were trying to let Jordan Love sling it, but in weird situations, I felt like. First half, they were 1 for 1 on 3rd and short, 1 for 2 3rd and medium, 1 for 2 on 3rd and long. The one they picked up on 3rd and long was a 52-yarder to Watson, which was absolutely sick. After the fumble on the first drive, after they threw the 52-yarder to Watson, I was like, all right, here we go. It's go time. Now we're here. We're locked in. We're focused. We're going to do this. And that's just not what happened, obviously. Get to the second half. They went 2 for 3 in the 3rd and short area. The first one was they threw a pass to Dobbs on 3rd and 1. Really good route by Dobbs. Dobbs is outstanding in one-on-one situations, especially on slant routes. He catches the ball with his hands very nicely. Then the other one that they converted on 3rd and short was the touchdown to Josh Jacobs, which I still to this very second cannot believe they called him short. That was unbelievable to me. Literally almost half of his upper body was in the end zone, bro.
I have no idea.
Hit both of his fully extended arms. His armpit hairs were scoring a touchdown, dude. And they called him short. That is unbelievable to me. I have opinions, but a little bit tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist thoughts. Second half, also the 1 for 2 with 3rd and medium and 1 for 3 3rd and long. I don't like having 5 of our 13 attempts be from the 3rd and long area. That's not keeping yourself ahead of the sticks. When all I've heard up to this point is Matt LaFleur likes to be aggressive on 1st and 2nd down to make 3rd down easier. The Packers average the lowest amount of yards to gain on 3rd downs. You didn't fucking do that on Sunday, Matt. You son of a. You probably shouldn't let me talk during the coaching section because I'm gonna go crazy.
Well, so let's back to back the red zone and the coaching.
Okay.
And then we'll do Jordan Love after that.
Okay, go ahead.
Because with the red zone, that's where a lot of my criticism, I shouldn't even say a lot, that's where some of my criticism on Matt LaFleur comes. So the first red zone trip is the one where Savion fumbled. I guess there's really nothing I have to complain about Matt LaFleur on that drive. That's more on players, like Jake said. Dobbs needs to block it better. Savion needs to not run into his own guy's back, and then he needs to hold on to the football.
What is he doing with it out there?
Yeah. The second one, they get into the 19-yard line, end up with a penalty that kicks them out of the red zone. They get a field goal. That's what it is. Third drive, another field goal. Fourth drive, that's where they get the 4th and 8. Now, this is probably my biggest, like, Matt LaFleur, what the fuck, is the justification for going on 4th and 8 was he said their analytics said that there was a 1% difference in win probability in going for it versus kicking the field goal. Now, my question here becomes, 1, what do you think is more likely, converting a 4th and 8 or making a 30-yard field goal?
I don't think analytics are saying what's more likely. It's
what's going to affect the game more, which
yes.
is fine. But again, like, what's more likely? Also, if you're thinking about that you're going to go for it on that 4th down, why the absolute fuck are you going backwards on 3rd and 3? You know that you need 3 yards. Why are you trying to make it harder on 4th down if you're going to go for it? The tush push isn't banned yet. It's going to be, but fucking it's a broken play.
Dude, you can even fumble on the tush push and it's still good.
Use it to your advantage while you can. And I know we can't do the Kraft shaft anymore, which makes me sad, but Jordan Love is healthy now, so we don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to do it because I like it.
Jacobs run into the back of the offensive line twice.
If it
needing 3 yards, then to try to go backwards and then go for it on 4th and 8.
Yeah, I love their little analytical things, but they can't put in how the game's going. Also, what does the analytics say? What's the percentage chances if they kick the field goal and they get the 3 points? What's the difference between that and not getting it? I would like to know those numbers because I bet you if you kick the field goal, your chance of winning goes way up more. It's not a 1% difference of getting the actual making the field goal versus missing there. I would bet.
It's got to be the difference between making a field goal and having a turnover on downs. That's where the 1% difference has to come in. But I still don't think that the probability in converting the 4th and 8 is the same as converting a 30-yard field goal.
Well, that 1% reared its ugly head because I'll tell you what, because if you kick the field goal there, not only are they not able, if you have a 3-point lead there after you score that touchdown, guess what? They're probably not running the ball down the field. You're forcing Bryce Young to throw it then, and he really hadn't shown much.
They could have.
Huh?
They had timeouts, so they could.
Okay, sure, but a lot of times you see teams in that situation they can't take too much running because
they didn't put their backs against the wall a little bit more.
And he didn't really break the big one until they got to midfield. So it took several 3 or 4 plays to get there. So what I'm saying, yeah, exactly. They would have maybe moved him out of their game plan a little bit.
You know what would have made all of this completely irrelevant?
Winning?
But McManus making the first field goal.
Yeah.
It would have been an easy decision.
Yep.
So that's the red zone. The next play or the next try that they had, they got in. They got at the 18-yard line. Wilson ran for 5. Love threw a pass to Savion for 6. Wilson ran for 4. Josh Jacobs to the 1. Next play, Josh Jacobs touchdown. They were 5 trips in the red zone. They scored on 3 of them, only 1 touchdown. You need 3 to 5 touchdowns, not 3 to 5 points. You need to be scoring at 60% on touchdowns in the red zone, not 60% total. It should be 100%, and like I said, 60% touchdowns.
Yes.
So my biggest thing with the red zone is to play downhill. Play downhill, not moving away from the line of scrimmage, away from the end zone. You are at the hardest place to get to. Why are you moving away from it? And I get that there's some of the things that the Packers do, but it's not every single play, it feels like. I get, obviously, run plays are starting behind the line of scrimmage because they're handoffs, but, last week, Tucker Kraft feasted in the red zone by moving forward. Just move forward. That's where the points are. Now.
Yeah, I agree. If you're going to 100%, if you know you're going for it on 4th down, I feel like run the ball on 3rd down. We're running it pretty well. Not out of the shotgun. Don't run it out of shotgun.
I don't even get it out of shotgun.
Yeah. We did run the ball better out of shotgun this game. But
alignment.
Yeah, that's where I feel like you just put Josh Jacobs on the field and be like, okay, the guy that literally just eats in the red zone, let him run the ball a couple times. If they run the ball twice there and we get stopped, I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm still a little frustrated, but I get it. At least we're running forward.
That's
not throwing a horizontal pass.
That's a credit to Carolina. I can give credit to Carolina for that situation.
Yeah.
I will give credit to Jeff Hafley. They did use Nate Hobbs correctly in the slot, which is what they signed him for. That's what he's best at, even though he tells people that he feels like a boundary corner. That's where he should be used. So there's that. Going back to Matt LaFleur, let Jordan Love throw the ball, because you know what? I'm going to hold that part for Jordan Love. The offense playing down to Carolina's level by not being aggressive, trying to over finesse the team that is trying to make the game ugly, I feel like has cost Packers both of their losses. Trying to over finesse a team that wants to play ugly, which is exactly what the Cleveland Browns did. The Carolina Panthers followed the blueprint, and we lost a game by a field goal that neither team scored more than 16 points. We lost a 16-13 game and a 13-10 game. Both of them had a missed field goal. Both of the teams tried to keep the ball away from us, and both of the times it felt like Matt LaFleur was trying to over-finesse the game instead of trying to actually get down and dirty with your opponent and show that you can win in more than one way. That's how I felt about this game, and that's exactly how I felt about Cleveland. That is where my issues with Matt LaFleur are. It's not even necessarily that I don't think that he can coach. Like, obviously, we've had some kind of questionable, like, 2-minute situations over the last few years, but trying to over finesse situations where it's like, okay, once in a while, you got to, like, grab the bootstraps and, like, get ugly once in a while. I don't feel, and it's kind of a bummer to say, I don't feel like the Packers can win an ugly football game until I see it.
Yeah.
So, the red zone execution, just abysmal this week. There's really no way around it. Like I said, 20% touchdown percentage, that's awful. There's no dancing around it, and obviously a turnover doesn't help. And then a turnover on downs also. But stop moving away from where the points are, please. I get you're trying to slingshot yourself forward, but do that between the 20s. When you're in the red zone, move forward, please. Anybody else want to say anything about the coaching?
I mean,
you guys want to say anything?
Yeah. I don't understand why we're running the ball at the middle of the field with a minute left. I get it that we had a few chances in the red zone there. Get the ball down there and then not feel rushed to try to score there. Like, you might be able to do better play calling or use your timeouts better. Stop running the ball at the middle of the field. That, like, we were like, what is he doing? 50-something seconds left and running the ball in the middle of the field. Like, I think we got saved by a penalty or something that helped us move forward a little bit there. What you said, like, oh, we're trying to finesse them. I feel like Matt LaFleur was told, hey, the Carolina is the best team against not giving up explosive plays. So what does he do? He wants to keep everything short. However, when we tried explosive plays, they actually worked relatively well. We hit Christian Watson way downfield. Granted, it was a free play. Matthew Golden, we talked about it. He should have. That was a catchable ball. It hit him in the hands. Jordan Love made the one really bad throw. You made the. Simon talked about the deep ball to Musgrave that we hit. There was a deeper one to 20-something yards, 30-yarder to Romeo Dobbs that we hit. Like, stop trying to play what they're good at and start playing what we're good at. Stop.
Please.
Like I said to you guys, stop playing to their weaknesses and play to our strengths.
Yep.
Like,
yes.
I don't understand it.
Yes.
So, and then I get it. Josh Jacobs is maybe he's a little unhealthy, but I just don't understand how in one of the biggest situations in the game, you have Emmanuel Wilson out there on that third and 4, and that's not Josh Jacobs running the ball up the middle, or even Josh Jacobs getting the screen pass. Like, I don't get that. And I feel like they're like, you know what, Malik Heath, he got blew up. But what play did we run the week prior several times that Carolina certainly scouted and was probably ready for? Wide receiver and running back screens to the outside. So I'm sure that cornerback to blow Malik Heath up, who's relatively a really good blocker at a wide receiver, it means he got surprised and got smacked immediately. That's what happened. So stop running the same shit that they definitely just scouted and watched us run over and over against. Don't get me wrong, they work well, but how about run something different out of it? How about you remember a couple years back when we faked that screen to the outside, and then you have your tight end. I know Tucker Kraft was on the field. Luke Musgrave could have done this, running up the seam for a touchdown. Like, do something out of that. For sure, they're scouting those looks. So then for them to be like, they probably know we're going to run something like that in a big spot. Throw the ball up the field, man.
I know exactly the play you're talking about. It was against the Rams last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not last year.
Back to Tucker
2
Kraft
years ago. I was at the
Just
game.
2 years ago.
And it was Tucker Kraft up the middle for a touchdown. Like, do something like that versus just throwing exactly, oh, this is our bread and butter. This works. We're going to do it every time. Well, guess what? Something tells me that they had that scouted look for that cornerback to, just like Jaire did against freaking Adam Thielen a few years back. That was a scouted look. He blew him the hell up in about half a second. And good luck for any wide receiver trying to block that.
Yeah. No chance.
Like, you're probably expecting some sort of hesitation for them to watch the play develop.
Honestly, we've seen Keyshawn Nixon and Javon Bullard do that to people.
Yeah. So, and I guarantee it's probably scouted looks and they know what's coming.
Yeah.
So the coaching just needs to be more creative than what it is.
Even
right
in
now.
the coaching aspect of it, like I said it last week, like I respect what Dave Canales is doing with the Panthers. Like, they're still not a good team, but they're over 500.
I'm just at the point where I'm starting to wonder. Don't get me wrong, we're still number 1 in the NFC, luckily, because the Vikings upset the Lions. But right now, if you're telling me we have to go to, I feel like we're not as good as Philly. We'll find a chance. We'll have a chance to upset them here. But are not even upset and beat them. I'll tell you, we probably shouldn't be favorites in many games. But
it's
but we have a
the
chance
difference between a home and road.
Yeah.
It's 2.5 points is what you get for me in the home team.
Yeah. So we should if we were going into Philly right now, I don't feel comfortable at all. If we were going into LA right now, I feel like we lose by 2 touchdowns. Detroit coming up on Thanksgiving. I already told my wife, tell people not to come over till after the game because I'm not going to have a good time. And at the way we're playing right now. And then, Seattle looks really good. We're going to be going to Seattle. We're going to see what that's all about. So I just don't feel like I'm hoping we can get our heads straight because really we'll get into it. I feel like Philly is not on paper. They're not that much better than us. They have players, but like they're not succeeding at a high rate right now either. They're having their struggles. So we'll see what happens. But I just feel like, unfortunately, I'm starting to feel like Matt LaFleur would be a great offense coordinator. He's just not a good head coach. I feel like he needs someone on the sidelines, not Rich Bisaccia. He needs to be out of there. He needs someone on the sidelines and not this analytical bullshit like, oh, it's a 1% difference. There's 11 and a half minutes left in the game. You take the points. I don't care. If it on a 4th and 8, if it's 4th and 1, 2, 3, I don't go for it. Sure.
Yeah.
4th and 8, you take the points.
Yep.
And
that to me is where the 3rd down call pisses me off.
Yeah,
Because like I said,
exactly.
I would rather, and we agreed on it too. Like I would rather see Josh Jacobs run into the back of the offensive line twice because I feel like you're at least trying to put the ball in the hands of your good player.
Yeah.
And instead of going backwards and trying to slingshot your way forward. Like just
that makes me feel like
you did 3 yards if you knew you were going to go 2 plays.
I bet you, if anything, if you did a lot like an analysis of those exact types of plays, lining up an eye and running up the middle versus that outside screen throw, I bet a lot of the times like the chances of losing yards is a lot less on running it straight up the middle than it is on a screen throw outside. Yeah. Just from what I've seen from football,
I would say the likelihood of the play going for a touchdown is higher.
Yeah, but
screen,
the likelihood of losing is higher too.
Yards. And that's the thing is like, are you trying to get the first down?
Or
are you trying to score a touchdown? Which there's plenty of space for you to get a first down.
So I feel like is he not thinking? Is he a checkers player at this point, not a chess player thinking a couple moves ahead? Like to tell me that, he wasn't thinking that they're going to go for it on 4th down. Then get a 1 or 2 yard gain on 3rd down and make it a lot easier and make the defense not know what to do. On 4th and 8, guess what? We ain't running the ball. Surprise.
Yeah.
So
if you're thinking that you're going to be taking the field goal, then run a play that's going to try to get you a first down.
He needs to have a little more foresight. And like right now, I just don't think he has. I think he can be a great head coach. I think he has been a great head coach. But I do feel like he needs someone around him that helps him coach. Really, I feel like our head coach needs a coach for him for these situations.
Rich Bisaccia.
Jake or Simon, do you guys have anything you want to say on the coaching aspect?
You have anything to say, Simon?
Not really. I don't know. Like a lot of times I feel like the coaches get overblamed a little bit. Just in my opinion, I think a lot of it might come down to like execution. And I've said this over the years
There's definitely something to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of blame to go around, and I understand. Like at the end of the day, a lot of the coach and the quarterback are going to really take the brunt of it. But there are times where it really comes down to just execution, and sometimes the players don't make the plays they're supposed to or they're designed to. So I try not to fault Matt LaFleur too much, and there are times where people will just kind of like bitch one way or another. For lack of better terms, because I mean, if they make that 4th and 8, then nobody's gonna say crap.
Oh, I wish.
You're right.
Okay. So first of all, Simon, you sound like the kind of guy that does something wrong in a video game and blames your controller for it. Just gonna say that.
Oh no, it's definitely hacks in my lag.
Matt LaFleur is the head. He is the one calling the plays. Now, I understand that players can not execute, but putting your players in the best position is what's going to be good. And going horizontal when you need it, when the field is fucking vertical, makes no goddamn sense.
Okay, but that's not exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm not refuting that.
I know.
I just mean in general, like people just saying like fire Matt LaFleur, like that's just it's asinine to me.
I'm not at that point.
No, I'm not saying you guys are. I'm just saying in general, I think when you're looking for a person to blame, there's more on the field that goes on than just, like Matt LaFleur is a terrible coach. You know what I'm saying?
No, right. No, I agree with that. I said a few things. First of all, I'm going to
Joystick.
Steve's comment. Steve said JSN would cook. LVN's been a pretty good draft pick. Just going to say, we've missed him the last couple of weeks. Just saying. He's definitely a very good run defender, and we missed him. Yeah, sorry, Tyler.
JSN does look good, though.
JSN does look good. He's a good player.
Good.
But I also don't think that the Packers missed on their pick either. I'm not just going to say that.
I think he was saying that in response to what Bryant was saying about the Packers' upcoming schedule.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I want to respond to something else Steve said earlier where when we were talking about Kraft's injury, and Steve said something about along the lines of maybe this injury will, make Matt LaFleur grab into the bag of tricks that he has. I'm afraid that if he goes into the bag of tricks, it's going to be a fucking screen pass or a goddamn jet sweep.
If I see a tight end screen to Luke Musgrave, I'm going to shut my TV off.
If I see a jet sweep with Luke Musgrave, I'm immediately messaging all of you.
Dude,
and I'm going to laugh.
He is 100% running that jet sweep with Savion Williams. 100% running it with Savion Williams.
He does a jet sweep to Savion Williams with Luke Musgrave as his lead blocker. I'm driving to your house and kicking you in the nuts.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I will be sure to wear a nut cup on Monday night. But anyways, I just feel like he just tries to get too cute sometimes, man. Like he just needs to it's football, bro. It's contact sport. It's supposed to be hard. Stop with this cute, I'm going to make Jordan Love go in a complete circle before he hands the ball off. No! Just give the goddamn ball to 8 and let him do what he's got to do. I'm so sick and tired of all this orbital screen and screen to this guy, throw it 40 yards to the left so my wide receiver has a half a second less to freaking decide where to run. Just throw the damn ball. Freaking Romeo Doubs is good at slant routes, dude. Make him run a slant like 15 times a game, dude. Yep, he is good at that.
That'd be a great play call on 3rd and 3.
Luke Musgrave is a 6'7" gazelle. You telling me he can't run a slant or a deep post?
Dog, Alan Lazard got himself paid off of running slants on 3rd and short.
Dude, literally, this shit.
So you're saying we should bring back Alan Lazard?
Dead ass? I'd consider it right now.
Seriously, the way that we've been blocking.
He's a good blocker.
Do you think BJ Raji would come out of retirement?
Oh, jeez.
Dominique Daphne said he would.
Yeah, word.
I don't know, man. Every couple of weeks, I'm staring at my TV, and I feel like a divorced dad where I'm just like, what went wrong in my life that I deserve this? I'm serious, dude. I'm watching this game, and I'm just like, I'm a good person.
Hey, Jake, look at the bright side. You could have paid thousands of dollars to travel and watch it.
That's a very fair point. Well, hey, we're not all rich like you, Brian. We can't all drop $600 at the team store.
So I had like 9 people I knew that went to the game, and literally all of them except you, Brian, texted me and were just like, I never want to go to a Packers game again. And I'm like, well, if you want to pay for the tickets, just let me go. That's fine. I will go for you.
Yeah. Oh, I'll go to a game again. I'll be there next year. I'm a glutton for punishment.
Whether they win or lose, I'll be there too. I'm sorry, Steve.
Steve feels attacked.
I'm sorry, Steve. But man, are you a divorced dad? I'm so sorry.
Maybe you got
my point being, it doesn't have to be this difficult, Matt. Stop trying to be so cute. This is not a cute sport. This is a fucking man's game. Yeah. Stop with that bullshit.
There's times for it.
Yes.
On the time of possession, like I said, this to me reminded me of the Cleveland game. Panthers run game controlling the clock in the first half. Packers only had 2 possessions before the 2-minute drill. They had a fumble and a field goal. Mm-hmm. That's a problem.
We actually won time of possession, which is crazy.
Which it is. Second half, they had 4 possessions. They had an interception, a turnover on downs, and a missed field goal before their touchdown. Time of possession was almost even, which should not have been the case. But I mean, obviously you get into the red zone 5 times. Like, that means you're moving the ball at least well until you stop trying to go towards the end zone.
Right.
But I mean, overall, I don't have a ton of complaints that way. Let's talk about Jordan Love. So just going to transition from red zone to coaching to Jordan Love. I'm going to talk about the 4th and 8. People saying, oh my God, this is the worst throw of all time. Just do me 2 favors real quick. 1, shut the hell up. 2, actually watch the play. And just actually, I'm going to add a third one, and it's learn ball. Like 4th and 8, meaning you can only convert or give the ball to the other team. What else would you have liked Jordan Love to do? Run into a defensive lineman?
Yes.
Run out of bounds? Throw the ball through the goalpost? It doesn't count as 3 points if you do that. He had to throw the ball.
He's trying to throw it back to Romeo,
after
but
running for 45 yards because the blocking sucked.
Yeah.
What else do you want him to do with the ball? He threw the ball where he could see one of his guys and one of their guys. And that was the best option.
Yeah. And Romeo let up on the play because he had run out of bounds, probably thinking, okay, I'm not getting the ball.
He got shoved out of bounds.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, but that would also be illegal touching, and it wouldn't have counted.
When you look at the all 22, you can see that they were looking for a potential flag on the play, which is why Love threw it in that direction. Also, like I said, that's the only place where there was one-on-one where it feels like
weird if he got shoved out of bounds. I feel like it should have been an illegal contact, but why would they ever throw that flag?
Yeah, especially in the end zone. Not like the Packers ever get called for illegal contact in the end zone.
Yeah.
So that worst throw of all time, fucking seriously, after some of the stuff that we've seen Chicago Bears quarterbacks do, really? Recency bias much? Seriously? Okay.
It's not even Jordan Love's worst throw of his career.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let everybody talk. Let's hold on to the interception for the last part. So, Bryant, everything else you thought about Jordan Love besides the interception?
I thought he played fine. I mean, I feel like he probably needed to, like we talked about, he needed to dial some more stuff up down the field for him instead of, Panthers don't let up big plays. Okay, I don't care. We make big plays.
Yep.
Okay, that's what our identity is. We make big plays. If they're going to beat us that way by stopping what we're good at, then kudos to them. But stop, you know what I mean? Like, stop being scared of. Don't be scared of their strength.
Yeah.
Don't be scared of their strength. Trust that your strength is stronger than theirs. Because, like I said, coming into this, other than 2 teams that they really shut down, that defense was giving up almost 30 points a game. They could be scored on. And that's what's concerning to me about the Packers not doing it. And that's where it turns to coaching, because they try to play to their opponent instead of play to their team. And that's becoming a serious problem with this team. And I think that's why a lot of times we are playing down to our opponents, in my opinion. And then, but overall, I thought Jordan played fine. I mean, I think he threw for the most yards that Panthers had given up on the year against any quarterback. I think Dak had like 259 or 263. I think Jordan threw for 265 or 270 or something like that.
273.
273.
The 4th and 8 throw, yeah, it was awful, but he really didn't have a choice what to do. I didn't see the push shove out of bounds because I was watching Jordan. Obviously, you guys get that instant replay or whatever. I didn't have that in this, in the at Lambeau Field. So, but for people saying that's the worst throw ever, no, it's not. It's not even close. He had to try to do something. Maybe he tries to run and truck stick someone. I don't know. Go back and watch it all 22. I don't think he had an angle to do it.
He didn't have an angle to truck stick 6 guys on his way to a first down.
So I mean, could you say, well, throw it a little more into where you have a couple people? Sure. But he trusts Romeo a lot. He's seen Romeo over there. I didn't see him get shoved out of bounds. You guys told me that just now. I didn't know that. So really, it is what it is. I know you said we'll save the interception, so I'll save on that. But other than that, I thought he made some good throws, and I thought he played fine.
Yeah. Simon, how did you feel about Jordan Love?
Yeah, I'm with Brian on this one. Outside the interception and the 4th and 8, which we kind of talked about, I thought he played fine. I thought it was, like I said earlier, this game just came down to a lack of execution when it mattered the most. And unfortunately, when it mattered the most, it was in the red zone, which we did not do great this week. And that's where the lack of points came from.
Jake, how'd you feel about Jordan Love?
I thought Jordan Love was good. Obviously, some things to be desired out there. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about this fucking game anymore. I'm so pissed off about it. I'm still mad about it 48 hours later, dude. I'm still mad about this game. I cannot believe they lost this. I thought Jordan Love was good. I thought he made some plays. You guys pretty much covered it.
All right, so I'm gonna pull it up. I'm just gonna pull it up. We're just gonna watch it together.
Movie time?
Yep, rolling in the projector. Okay, so
Yes.
here we go. This is the 4th and 8.
Instant pressure, like I said. I didn't think the offensive line played very well in that play.
Right
Literally nowhere.
there is the push.
And you can see Romeo like throw his hands up like, dude, like
You can see him hop like a guy who was trying not to get pushed. I don't remember if you can.
you can't see it. You can see it from this one. This is not the camera pan's too low to try to capture Love, so you can't really see the push.
Well, definitely what it does is it shows that Jordan Love had a move, and I don't know what anybody wanted him to do.
Okay.
He like I said, he just had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he was actually good, he would have ran between these 3 players on him and ran to the end zone.
True.
Yeah, so
It looks like he has all the room to run there, but the linebacker or cornerback or safety coming up right there about at the 18-yard line is going to
he would have caught him.
yeah, he's got to get to the 5.
Unless
That's where he's got to get. So everybody watch up here at the top of the B. You're going to see as Romeo Doubs turns, like right where it says us, you're going to see just one arm like on his shoulder that's going to cause him to like kind of pop up and look like a guy who's like trying not to step on a line. Right there.
Oh, yeah, he
See
shoves
that
him right into the end zone or out of the end zone.
Pushes him right out of the back of the end zone. So I think there's a case to be made that that's what he was looking at trying to get a flag there.
Yeah.
So,
or, when he released that ball, Romeo Doubs isn't getting shoved out of bounds yet, and he's like, okay, I'm going to give my guy a one-on-one chance here.
Those are the 2 things that I took away from that. Now, on the interception, anything you guys want to say on the interception, and then I'm going to give my devil's advocate.
I feel like he was just forcing a throw because he felt like he had to make a play.
Yep. Just trying to make a play.
Okay. Maybe I don't have to play devil's advocate on this after all. My thought on the interception was he threw 2 deep balls already. Both, I would say, are good throws. The one to Golden is one we think could have been caught. The one to Christian Watson was right on his face. Perfect throw. The other thing was that there's so many play calls going east and west that this is a situation where Love feels like, all right, we got to try to get the ball downfield at least once. And felt like he had to kind of manufacture a deep shot because they're not trying to pass this way. Like Jake said, everything is sideways, vertical, east and west. Like there's times and places for that. When the east and west game isn't working, stop trying to go east and west so much. Like the fact that Jordan Love threw the ball from 0 to 9 yards 17 times is ridiculous. 6 times from 10 to 19 or 10 to 19 yards, and one of them was that 4th and 8, is equal to what he threw in Pittsburgh, which is fine. But again, the east-west stuff was working in Pittsburgh. It was not working in Carolina. Like, stop trying to do something that's not working. Like, you got to be able to adapt and adjust. That's what bugs me about it.
I would say I'm probably even more fine with like the 0 to 9 throws if it's on early down, like just trying to pick up like 4 or 5 yards. I'm okay with that. It's the negative behind the line throws that are killing me a little bit here. So,
and again, there's times and places for that. And obviously if it's working, you can do it more. That's what Pittsburgh felt like.
Like there's definitely a couple times that he hit a nice little 4 or 5 yard pass on first down. I was like, perfect. That's just like a run. I'm 100% on board with those.
Steve said an extension of the running game makes my ears bleed. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that the short pass game is an extension of the run game. I don't want to hear that.
Not when you have Josh Jacobs. You have a running game.
And not when you drafted a first-round wide receiver and you have guys that are good downfield and you have the fastest guy in the draft and now you have your other deep threat back and you have a big, giant tight end who's athletic. I get
I will.
stuff with Savion because that's kind of like what his skill set is.
I'll say it is like I'm okay with it being an extension to the run game to a certain degree.
Which is fine.
But I do 100% agree. Like the throws between 10 and 19, Jordan Love seems to thrive in those. Romeo Dobbs loves those. Dobbs makes a lot of plays in that area. I feel like Christian can make a lot of plays in those areas. So I do feel like that. I kind of would like that to be the sweet spot. Even we don't even have to go to 10 and 19. We don't have to chop it up like that.
Yeah.
Between 5 and 15,
yeah.
Even would be where I kind of think we should live a little more.
And this is, I'll admit, it's probably some recency bias on my part, but it's just when it's so much short stuff on a day where the short stuff is not working. Like I said it to you guys, it feels like trying to break a rock with a plastic hammer. Like, why are you keep trying to do it? And that's where it frustrates me on the behalf of Jordan Love is like the Packers paid him to throw the ball. The Packers didn't pay him to be Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, and let's keep everything short and make things easy for you. So let's move on. Jake, I'll go to you first. We have Packers-Eagles now on Monday Night Football, and this game now feels much more important, and it feels much more like pressing, like a need to win, because the Packers lost to the Panthers, where if the Packers lost to the Panthers, it's like, okay, we're beating the teams we should. The Eagles knocked us out last year. The Eagles are still, one of the better teams in the NFC. If we lose this, it's, it is what it is. Versus now it's like, shit, we feel like we have to beat the Eagles because then are we a tier lower because we've lost to a bad team and now a good team? Inconsistency, I think, is easier to live with than back-to-back losses, I guess.
That's fair.
So go ahead.
Yeah, Packers defense versus the Eagles offense. So two people that I think of when I first think of the Eagles offense is Barkley and Hurts. I don't know if anybody's different, but that's just the first two people that come to mind when I think of this team. Now, the Eagles offense obviously is going to scout the Packers defense and see the two losses that we have and the running game got going, in that middle area of the offensive line. So when you struggle to stop Rico Dowdle, Philadelphia is going to try to get Saquon Barkley in those areas. And the Eagles offense has been really weird this year. I don't know if any of you guys have watched.
They've been super inconsistent.
They're hard to figure out.
Yeah.
On paper, they should be fucking world beaters.
That's what I said.
They really should.
It's not like they have been. I feel like we can beat them.
They don't have a weak position group on their offense.
No, they don't.
But their offense is still just not great.
The only thing that's weak is Jalen Hurts' ability to complete the deep pass is really the one area that you can kind of exploit. But he's a good runner. He's strong, and he's actually pretty accurate in the short and the medium area from time to time. I'll give him that credit. Packers come into this game second in yards per play. They come into this game tied for 10th in missed tackles. They have 42 missed tackles on the year. The number one team in the NFL with missed tackles is the Rams with 28, which I had to write that down because that's amazing. Only 28 missed tackles this far into the season.
That's crazy.
The Packers, 22 sacks in the season. 13.5 of the 22 have come from Gary and Parsons. Obviously, you don't get them going if you don't stop the run. So you have to be able to stop the run. Packers are also number one in passing yards per attempt at 5.8, which I'm sure that if I didn't even say that number, everybody would have assumed that anyways, just because of how people attack the Packers defense. They're also first in yards per catch at 8.7. So the Eagles' strength of throwing it short and keeping it short and breaking tackles plays into the Packers' strength on defense, actually, because they're good at keeping people in front of them, and they don't miss too many tackles. 42 is really not that bad.
Yeah, they've been bad this year.
So, I mean, it's all right. But the first things first, you cannot let 26 get going. Yeah. So that's got to be the goal, right? Stop 26, and you got to force Jalen Hurts to prove that he's actually a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, and the thing with Saquon is obviously he hasn't been as good as he was last year, but he's still Saquon Barkley.
He's still very good.
The other thing that I will say on the running game is the Packers actually last year, and they haven't really done a ton against it this year. They haven't just really faced a ton of these kind of guys. Is Packers did a good job containing running quarterbacks last year.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm confident that they can do again. But I told Jake, spoiler alert, on saying this. This is something I don't think people really thought we'd be in this position, but this defense needs Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah.
This defense needs Lucas Van Ness. The Packers defense was at its best when the defensive line was healthy. Something I've been saying about Devontae Wyatt for the last year and a half is that when Devontae Wyatt is healthy, as goes the Packers defense. Now Devontae Wyatt is getting healthy, and now we're missing Lucas Van Ness, and we're seeing that he's pretty damn important. He's obviously was drafted to be, more of a pass rusher, and, he's Hercules and everything, but Lucas Van Ness has become, arguably the Packers' second best run defender. I gave the numbers on it last week. He's one of the Packers' top run stop percentage players. So the D-line needs Lucas Van Ness back. And what I need is someone to get home this week. Bryce Young was barely touched last week. I need somebody to get home this week.
Yeah.
Well, he also didn't throw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So, Bryant, what are you looking for from the Packers defense?
Yeah, it all starts with Saquon. I feel like we've been pretty good against running quarterbacks, although Bryce Young did get us a couple times. But we probably weren't expecting him to run quite as much as he did. Honestly, he's sneaky with it. He doesn't do it a whole hell of a lot.
With him coming back from an ankle injury too.
Right, I was thinking that too.
Probably want him to try to test it a little bit too.
Really, it all starts up front. We got to slow down Saquon. If you look at their offense, like we talked about, it's been very inconsistent. You have A.J. Brown, who's throwing fits if he's not getting the ball. Devontae Smith has been really good. He's already close to 600 yards on the year. They definitely have two wide receivers that can give these cornerbacks some trouble. But honestly, I hope we play up in their faces and let them throw deep, because I feel like if we let them try to throw deep, at least Micah and Rashawn will have a chance to work. The Panthers are throwing the ball so damn fast that you really there was I'll say there's a couple times we should have had a sack and we completely freaking missed.
Yeah.
So, or he broke a tackle on us, but not to get back to that game. But I feel like we're going to have to try to pressure. We're definitely going to have to try to pressure Jalen Hurts, because I feel like it's weird because he has really good numbers on the year, but he's still struggling. I feel like he's only throwing the one interception. He had something like 13 touchdowns or whatever it was. But I feel like, he's very inconsistent. He could easily have a bad game. He's been sacked 25 times. We need to get after him. Maybe that means throwing some blitzes at him or something, or throw some run blitzes in there to try to stop the run. And then if we can slow down the run and get them into where they're having to throw the ball, that'd be great. Steve makes a good point. Goddard's going to be a problem for us too.
Steve, you fucking son of a bitch.
That's probably his.
Settle down. All right. That's what I'm saying. Like the Eagles, they don't have a bad position group on their offense. Like their offensive line is still good. They have a decent quarterback. They have a great running back. They have good wide receivers. They have a good tight end.
They're just a solid team this year so far. So I feel like this is a game we can win if we don't make stupid mistakes. It's going to be a dogfight. This might come, we might be able to pull it out by a field goal or something if our kicker decides to make it.
Simon, how do you feel about the Packers defense against the Eagles offense?
Yeah, I kind of echo a lot of the same sentiments. Barkley's he's kind of the leading guy, and I think to beat this, you're going to have to force Jalen Hurts into some long situations, and that's going to be kind of how this game goes. If you let Barkley go on 4 or 5 yard runs every single time, and they get third downs where it's 1-2 yards, and they run it's going to be a long day for the defense. So just winning the early downs is kind of my big takeaway.
Alrighty, Bryant, what are you looking for from special teams?
Who's kicking? I guess I don't know.
McManus
probably be kicking. I'm telling you right now, if he misses something like 43, 44 yards again, it's got to happen. Not necessarily cut him, but he needs to be benched. He needs to be benched, and it needs to be a competition at that point or something, because we just cannot. We're not good enough to leave at this point. Our team when our offense is struggling, we are not good enough to leave points on the table.
Especially when games are getting shortened.
Eagles haven't been particularly dangerous returning the ball, so hopefully we can put them in some situations behind the kicks, behind the sticks or on the field. Like you said, Tyler, the one thing McManus does pretty good is I feel like he can kick it to the between 3 and 1 yard line pretty consistently.
Yep.
He's been pretty good at that. Just really, can we just be a 15 to 20th best special teams unit in the freaking league, please? Like, I don't even want. I would accept if you said we finished the year at the 18th best special teams. I would accept it without questioning.
That would feel like a win.
Yeah, like at this point, we just
Middle
need
of the pack would be fine.
We just need a little competence.
Yeah, not to have it cost us wins and ties and losses.
Right.
All right. Simon, what are you looking for from the Packers offense against the Eagles defense?
Hopefully some better interior offensive line play. I kind of been crushing on this the past few weeks, but I mean, the Eagles have a pretty good defensive line still. Jalen Carter is a monster, and we just need better play from the interior in general. I don't care how it gets done. I guess we'll see what happens with Banks this week. But they haven't been playing well, and the Eagles have, like I said, they have a pretty good interior defensive line. I kind of mentioned earlier with Kraft out, I think we need someone to step up on the short yardage area of the field now that he's gone. And then the Eagles' second cornerback, like Cooper DeJean's been good and Mitchell's been pretty good, but outside of that, whoever's over there has been pretty underwhelming. And it looks like it's probably going to be maybe Jaire, I don't know, or if they want to stick, Cooper on the outside or something. I don't know what they plan on doing. But put Watson or Dobbs on them and just abuse them.
Yeah.
If
I think
Jaire wants to go up, that'd be elite for us.
I think what they're going to do is, honestly, I think they're going to kick Cooper DeJean out there and put Michael Carter in the slot.
Michael Carter he's not great or anything either. And I mean, maybe it's tough because, I don't know, maybe Golden, but if Golden's hurt and he can't go, I don't know what we're going to do in the slot. Is Wicks coming back this week, or is he still out? It's looking like I haven't seen.
He hasn't even put logged any limited practices.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have faith that he'll be back at all.
That's tough.
Bro, I wish they would just put Luke Musgrave in the slot. It's going to be a big slot receiver.
Yeah, just clone Tucker Kraft and put him in there 5 times.
Or let Romeo Dobbs play in the slot.
Dobbs is really good on the outside, though.
Yeah.
I know. But we have another guy we can put on the outside.
That's fair.
Put Christian Watson in the slot.
He could be good there.
He can play slot.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really joking about that. I think that could.
No, he did that for us a few years back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, they move the guys around enough.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe the fact
I wish we had Jaden Reed. That's all I'm
saying.
Maybe the fact that we didn't.
Hardman.
No,
honestly.
Please no.
If we're going to bring in anyone, it's going to be someone that's on our practice squad that's ready to play.
I'd rather just give Savion the reps.
Yeah, same.
At that point.
Yeah.
Get him reps actually at wide receiver and not at scat back.
I don't think we've thrown the ball to the dude more than 5 yards down the field, so maybe we could try that.
Honestly, I think that's true.
I'm not being facetious. I legitimately, I think we haven't. Did I throw you, Jake, because I said the word right?
Elite.
I wasn't going to say
it. I love it. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Turn a new page. I like it.
I got to look this up now.
All right. Jake, what are you looking for from the Packers offense?
Yeah, so I decided to pull a bunch of numbers this week, and the Eagles are 16th in the NFL at yards per play. They give up an average of 5.4 yards per play. They're 25th in sacks, 16 total sacks this year. Again, for context, I said that Parsons and Gary together have 13.5, so pretty bad by the Eagles. They're 19th in pressures. They have 58 total pressures on the year. They're 9th in yards per attempt at 6.7, and they're 27th in yards per catch at 11.3. So 11.3 yards per catch. So that tells me that their corners are bad and they're playing off. The Packers, This is it's pretty interesting here. The Packers are 29th in the NFL at yards per carry on rush attempts. This is before, obviously, contact at 2 yards per run before contact. That is fucking atrocious. Packers are third in the NFL at run after catch at 1,088. Obviously, Tucker Kraft was a big man in that. He was a rack monster. But if you go at Jordan Love's total yards of 2,071, that's 52.5% of his yards have come off run after catch. You're telling me that this guy can't just throw the ball down the field and get some yards? I mean, what are we doing here? I'm just gonna say it. They just need to spread the ball out, get in shotgun, and just let Jordan Love just sling the goddamn ball. This is the game for it. Dead serious. I know that the Eagles made a couple trades. The only one that was a really good move is Phillips, blanking out his first name.
Jalen.
Yep, from Miami. That's a good trade for them. He's a pretty good player, pretty good against the run, and he's a decent pass rusher. But other than that, neither of the other two moves scare me. Jaire's been hurt all year. He's not been hurt all year. I'm just going to say that right now. And, the other guy that –
I was just going to send that to you guys.
I'm sorry, but he has not been hurt all year, dude.
No, we're laughing about what was in the comments, the private chat.
But he is definitely playing in this game. I'll say that right now. He is petty enough that he will be healthy for this game. So I fully expect Jaire
I think
Alexander.
he's been a healthy scratch.
I will say, you say it's not a good trade. If he can return to any kind of form for 8 games, it's a great trade for them. And Michael Carter lets them move some places around. Like this, it really hurts watching them. I know we just got Micah, so we got to keep it in perspective. But watching them get 2 cornerbacks, just kind of even further depth cornerbacks, and then another pass rusher where they were struggling in that position. Like it's like, man, they're adding to their strengths. Where what I mean. That's what makes championship teams. I think Micah can help us get there. I think we left ourselves thinner at cornerback than we realized. So that'll be something we have to address. And I'm not saying we can't get it done this year. I think we can still get it done. I think Carrington's pretty good. I think Nixon has potential if he can start playing like he was before, but it hurts watching them trade for players.
The Eagles are in a little bit of a different spot than the Packers are. So what I'm just gonna jump in and say this is, while the Eagles are adding a bunch of guys at this year's deadline, they're gonna have to trade AJ Brown in the offseason.
Yeah. Self-proclaimed, Steve.
Here's how you're going to be a team captain. Steve was asking about Hardman for the return game. They don't need him for the return game.
The return game's been good.
Ball are doing fine.
Yeah.
I'll say that everyone was worried about Carolina being one of the 2 good teams that kicked the dirty ball. We didn't have any. Savion had no problem with that.
Yeah.
So I'll jump into what I'm looking for from the offense. I actually kind of disagree with Jake. I think we need to run the ball, and I think we need to do what people have been doing to us against the Eagles. I think we need to do the stupid little short passing game, and I think we need to control the clock, because where they've been kind of weak is against the run, giving up 4.4 yards per carry. So hopefully Josh Jacobs is ready to be a bell cow this game. With that secondary, I think we need to take our shots down the field, and we need to trust Jordan Love. And I know this is going a little bit against me, say, okay, play to our strengths, but I think running the ball can be our strength, and we were showing it this last game. I just feel like we made some stupid decisions, like that third down play. Instead of running the ball where Jacobs had been averaging 5 yards carry, we just went away from it and tried to get cued. I think this game might be like, hey, let's make it ugly. Let's punch him in the face and keep punching him in the face, and then let Jordan Love make those plays once we get down to the red zone when we need it on third downs. But I feel like this is a game we could control the clock a little bit and kind of do what teams have done to us and just keep the ball away from them and just make it kind of ugly. Now, am I all for hey, let's just rip it? If we can do it, I'm good for it. But I'm a little more worried about what we have for health at wide receiver, to be honest.
I don't think our guards are good enough to go against those 2 D tackles. Jordan Davis,
those aren't
bad.
You could be right. Those I'm very worried about the interior of the offense.
My thing with winning a game ugly is I don't feel like I can say they can do it beforehand. I feel like I have to see it before I can believe that it's something they can do. Yeah. I feel like I have to have the hindsight that they can win an ugly game before I can say they can go win an ugly game. Because right now, the 2 ugly games they've gotten into, they've lost them both.
I would say the Arizona game was kind of ugly. We pulled that one out, but
that's fair. That's fair.
With the offense, the spreading around the ball is great, but I think it needs to be spread equally in distance as it is in distribution. I don't want to see essentially what we had against Carolina was trying 10 different guys close to the line of scrimmage or behind it within, 5 and 10 yards and behind the line of scrimmage, and just seeing who can break tackles or get the perfect blocking set up so that we can actually get a play moving forward. What I looked up was the Giants, who are one of the Eagles' bad losses. The Giants beat the Eagles with only 25 pass attempts, so maybe something to Bryant's point. However, 14 of them were 9 yards and in. That's 56%. What I said with Carolina, the Packers had 65% of their passes being 9 yards and in. So I'm not looking for this massive, down haul, air raid, we need to throw the ball 45 yards every play. I'm looking at 10%. 10% of the passes going from 9 yards and in to be distributed farther. I don't feel like that's unreasonable. That's really where I'm at. That's how the that's how the Giants beat the Eagles. With the red zone, Packers were bad last week. Obviously, like I said, 1 for 5. The Eagles have the number 3 red zone defense at 46.15%. Green Bay's their last 3 is 50%. The Packers could really use a 3 out of 5 game to get back to that 60% touchdown rate. Would be great. As far as the coaching goes, the passing game distribution is a big part of how I feel about the coaching, to pair with the other topic, which is the red zone. Stop going backwards in the red zone. Move towards the end zone, especially in short yardage situations. If you're looking at a 3rd and 7 and you're saying, all right, we're going to kick the field goal if we don't go for it, and you want to try something a little bit side to side, honestly, I'm fine with that. Because if you're looking at a 33-yard field goal or a 35-yard field goal, if they blow up your play, don't go backwards if you're thinking about going for it on the next 4th down. If you're going forward on 4th down, go forward on 3rd down to make your 4th down easier, not backwards. If you want to play scheme, try some of it outside the line of scrimmage. Your entire scheme of trying to scheme guys open and trying to scheme blockers and, scheme this and scheme that, it doesn't all have to be behind the line of scrimmage. I think that goes to Brian's point, bringing up the Rams game from a couple years ago where, you have a bunch of things going on over here and you're going to fake again. And then this over here is where we're looking to catch somebody sleeping. Try some counters, try some misdirection, mix it up, run some play action. We have the guys that if you run play action with Josh Jacobs, people are going to notice that you're about to hand the ball off to him, even if you don't. Josh Jacobs is a guy that people have their eyes on. Even Emmanuel Wilson. I'm not his biggest fan, but he can make plays. He's capable of making plays, enough that you still have to pay attention to him.
There was a wheel route that, against Carolina, that Emmanuel Wilson actually ran a really good route, but I think Jordan Morgan got blown up right away. And if Jordan's able to throw that ball, if Love is able to throw that ball, it's probably a touchdown.
Is it one that he had to kind of throw away?
I think so. Yeah, I just know Morgan got blown up.
He had 2 throwaways in the game. I'm pretty sure that was one of them.
I'm gonna say, I think Ed Policy and probably Goody, who I think is an absolute lock to be extended at the end of the season, are going to wait and see how the season ends before deciding anything to do with Matt LaFleur. Simon, said that obviously the Packers, the fire Matt LaFleur is too much. We don't need to go that far. We're still 5-2-1 at the end of the day. Yep. But I think they're going to let this one play out.
I'll say I feel like the wheels would have to completely fall off for him to.
Yeah, I agree.
To be gone and it still wouldn't happen in season, and I still think you would have a chance to fix it next year.
Yeah,
I think he's built up enough of that chance.
The only reason I think it's potentially the end of this year is just because that's when it's going to fix out.
I'll say this: I feel like this is the very first season that we can actually say it's Super Bowl or bust with this team. Now, I feel like we're kind of building up towards it with Jordan. We had a lot. I'll say we had with a Jordan Love led team is what I'm getting at, not a Matt LaFleur coach team.
Yeah,
with this team.
I'll agree with that.
Because I feel like last year we felt like we had a chance, but we're still young. We're still kind of getting stuff together. Now we traded for Micah and we traded for pieces, and we're getting older, or not older, but we're getting more veteran players, and our younger players are getting into their 2nd or 3rd and 4th seasons. It's time now.
Yep, I agree.
It is time.
I don't know that I'd go as far as Super Bowl or bust. Like, I feel like it's like deep playoff run or bust. Like, if they got to the NFC Championship this year and, lost to Tampa Bay 30-28 in the NFC Championship, like, I don't know if we're ready to like call the season a failure or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Last thing I'm going to say is Jordan Love is tied for 19th in average depth of target.
Yeah.
For a guy who has arm talent like we know he does, that should not be the case. Okay. Bryant, what injury designations are we watching for?
Yeah, it's early. It's a Monday night game, so we're not going to know much. But I'll start with Philly. They have quite a bit we're going to have to keep an eye on. Saquon, obviously, is a huge one. It sounds like he plans on playing, but maybe he's a little limited. I'll say in their 2 losses, Saquon was pretty much held in check. So I'll say that's something we need to do. A.J. Brown, I don't know if it's the Eagles hurt too, but he's going to be a big one to watch. Their center, Cam Jurgens, I'm not sure, if he's going to be able to play. And then they might get Nolan Smith back, which would be unfortunate. So hopefully he'll take one more week off. But, so they're pretty beat up. They're not pretty beat up. They could potentially be, but I think they'll be healthy coming off a bye. That's another thing going against us. And then for the Packers, I mean, Matthew Golden, Banks, Wicks, Colby Wooden. Obviously we just lost Tucker Kraft. So Lucas Van Ness is obviously a big one. Nate Hobbs has already been pretty much confirmed that he'll be out. So we're definitely pretty beat up. So hopefully some of those guys
in there. It does sound like there's a lot of interest in the Packers bringing in Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah.
They reportedly had him in for a workout. They're reportedly very interested. So it would not shock me at all if tomorrow morning we see that the Packers are signing Asante Samuel Jr.
That'd be a nice boost.
Yeah, I don't. Did they say when? I heard that they're interested in bringing him from workout, not that they did or anything. So
They did.
I thought I saw that.
They worked them out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought that they said that there was mutual interest from.
There's mutual interest. Yeah.
Okay. Look, I would love Asante because he was good. He was very good in coverage. He wasn't great tackler, but you know what? That's not what we need right now. I just want to throw one more stat out there about coaching that I kind of shared. The Packers are second in rush attempts, but like 20th in yards. But they're 19th in pass attempts, but second in overall yards. That's where it's just like, okay, the run game isn't working, so that's where we probably do need to pass more. But yeah, if we could assign Asante Samuel Jr., I don't think he would play this week or anything. But I feel like that could definitely be like, that's like Goody normally does one of those middle of the season pickups. This is a guy that can actually, cover. So,
yeah. And I will say, in relief of Tucker Kraft, the Packers did elevate Josh Wiley, tight end, to the active roster. He's a guy that all 4 of us actually liked in the 2023 draft. We all had him in our top 10 tight ends of the draft. All had him between 7 and 9. So Josh Wiley is a guy that we had some good faith in.
He's a big target, man, in the red zone.
Yeah.
Treg, welcome back. Appreciate it. Asante Samuel was cleared for football activities, and the Packers are considering signing him.
Okay.
Is the latest report that I have. So, again, like Brian said, he's probably not going to play this week, even if they do sign him. But he was a guy that was in our free agent wish list. Asante Samuel Jr. was on mine. Now that he's cleared of his injury, I would absolutely be interested in bringing him in. Jake, what is the weather going to be like?
It's going to be cold, man. Partly cloudy, low of 23 degrees, winds west at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Football weather, baby.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds kind of nice.
I mean,
you're in Texas.
I always tell everybody when you're inside Lambeau, it's really not that cold.
Well, you end up shoulder to shoulder with everybody, and you're jumping up and down and focus on the game.
So, I mean,
the beer.
Yeah, it's really not that bad.
Warms you up.
So whenever I talk about the weather, I'm just like, you could probably just ignore the wind because you're probably not feeling it too much anyways.
All right. Simon, who's your X factor?
I have our interior defensive line kind of shutting down Barkley.
Jake, who's your X factor?
Gotta say, Steve, you felt attacked before. I guess that was a equal shot back to me, so it is what it is. I brought two just in case somebody stole mine, but I have Walker and Cooper versus Dallas Goedert. I wrote down that every once in a while Goddard feels like the forgotten guy on an offense full of superstars,
Some good games this year.
Stuff like that. But he's the third short guy. He's the keep the offense ahead of the chains guy. And the Packers have been pretty bad against tight ends this year. They've given up 46 out of 59 targets. They give up 13.1 yards on average. That's the fourth worst in the NFL. They give up the fifth most yards, 601. They're tied for the most touchdowns given up to tight ends this year. They're tied with the 49ers, Steelers, and the Eagles, by the way, with 7 touchdowns. And if you break down all their averages, tight ends are averaging 6 receptions on 7 targets, 75 yards and a touchdown. So that's easily that looks like a Dallas Goedert stat line.
Alrighty, Brian, who's your X factor?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Matt LaFleur. He needs to get this team up and ready to play this game. This is a huge game for Green Bay. Like you're talking if we lose this game, it becomes a huge mountain to climb to try to get back into the conversation for the number 1 seed and a bye. He needs to work some magic and get this team ready to play and go. And, it's a conference game. We're 3-1 in the conference now with that loss to Carolina, which hurts a little bit, but this is a huge game. Like if you can beat the Eagles and climb back on top of that, you should see the Rams in San Francisco and Seattle cannibalizing themselves a little bit. And if we can get past the Eagles, then we have to pretty much worry about Detroit and stay ahead in the win count, and then we're in a sweet spot where we want to be. So the only team we really don't get a chance to beat and put a game on them is Tampa Bay. So, excuse me. So this is a team we like. This is a huge game.
It gives them a big boost.
You can't under
context to that. The Eagles play the Packers on Monday night, and then next week they play the Lions on Sunday night. So this is a big game for Philadelphia too.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I went last, and honestly, I'm surprised that my guy was not mentioned. I went with Luke Musgrave. I thought he was almost a lock to be somebody's X factor.
I thought about him. I considered him now.
With the injury to Tucker Kraft, he became way more important. And I'll throw in an extra note on the coaching part. If they can just teach him how to sit down in his own, that would be helpful to Jordan Love. Just teach him how to sit down in his own and let him be that guy that like we said earlier, like the underneath stuff that Tucker Kraft was kind of starting to feast on. I don't even need him to give me all the yards after the catch that Tucker Kraft does. It just needed to be a sure-handed guy that Jordan Love can trust. That's what I need.
Mm-hmm.
Simon, what is your score prediction from the head?
I have us winning 24-23.
Ooh, I have 24-21.
I think it's going to be a really close game.
I agree. Brian, what do you have from the head?
Like I said, I won't pick against this, so I'll go 21-20.
So 1 point win, 1 point win, 1 point win, 28-27 Green Bay.
Yeah.
You have a 4 point, I know.
3.
Yeah. Go ahead, Simon.
2. From the heart, I think we could win this game by like a touchdown. I have us winning 27-21.
Okay. All right. Brian?
From the heart, I want us to get up and just beat the shit out of these guys.
Do it.
So I'm like from the heart, I want us to wake up, do this for Tucker, and win 38-20.
Ooh, so close. I had 35-20. I still think, all things considered, even the way the last year went, I still think the Packers are a bad matchup for the Eagles.
I have 31-20. So 20 seems to be a sweet spot.
My reasoning, and I'm just going to go straight into Simon Says because of this, and I'm actually going to go first, even though normally I go to Bryant first because he normally does bonus ones.
Like 17 of them.
He's going to be off the top of my nugget.
Yeah, Brian didn't get to make notes this week, so we don't have 5 Simon Says from Brian.
So it might be worse. He's just going to have the ideas popping
It's going to be something off my head. The reason that I have 35-20 as my heart score, my offensive, Simon Says, is that Matt LaFleur gets his head out of his ass in the red zone and Packers go 5 for 5 on red zone touchdowns.
Touchdowns. Yeah. That'd be sick.
Man. That'd be nasty.
That'd be nice, especially versus the Eagles.
That would make me go from like, all right, Matt LaFleur, I'm sorry. You sucked against Carolina, but you're still a good coach. I'm sorry.
Brian, you got anything cooking up there?
Yeah, I'm going to say that Josh Jacobs gets his first 100-yard rushing game and 2 touchdowns.
He doesn't have a 100-yard rushing game this year.
Got a bunch of 100-yard scrimmage games, I think.
Oh wow, yeah, that'd be
Sure
nice.
he doesn't have one. Let me double check.
Hold on, Cowboys.
No,
Cowboys. He had to have 100 rush, didn't he?
I
no,
think he was up out.
I don't. No, I don't think he ran well that game.
He had a 93 against Cincinnati, and he
Yeah.
had 87 against Carolina and 86 against Dallas.
So I'm calling for his first 100-yard rushing game and 2 touchdowns.
Dang,
Well,
what you said?
shit. Color me surprised. I have Watson gets his first 100-yard receiving game of the year, and Matthew Golden finally gets that first touchdown.
Still holding on to that, huh?
Good.
If
I keep throwing at the dartboard,
You'll eventually get it.
One's gonna stick.
Yeah, I like Christian Watson.
Week 14, Matthew Golden scores his first touchdown, and Jake's going to be like, first try.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'll admit it. Hey, 15th try. Let's go, baby.
It's real bold of you, Jake.
It's not happening.
Defensively, this is another thing that just kind of comes over from last week is that Micah Parsons plays pissed and gets 3 sacks.
That'd be nice.
I would love to see Micah Parsons show some emotion and be like, I was pissed last week that I didn't have any pressures for the first time in my career, and I wanted to put
PFF credited him with 1.
He didn't have 1 pressure.
No, I know, but PFF credited him with 1.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, they did.
Well, I don't think Fox gave him 1.
Yeah, that's just one of those things where it just depends on where you look and how the game is judged. But I get you.
Yeah, they gave him a hurry. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, even still, the pass rush impact wasn't there. So I'm looking for Michael.
I agree.
And
I don't think I want to look back at it because I didn't watch that specific aspect of the game. But someone put on Twitter like I've never seen a team put so much energy towards one player. So that could be a huge reasoning why. But then also like why didn't anyone else really produce? Gary had a couple, and then obviously the McKinney. But I want to go back and rewatch that.
Gary should have had a sack on that. I think.
Yeah. I want to rewatch that. All of Bryce Young's pass attempts.
I don't.
What do you got, Bryant?
Yeah, I'm going to put that the Packers. I'm going to say that the Packers sack Jalen Hurts 5 times.
Dang.
And 2 of them coming from Micah.
All right.
That'd be sick.
When they lost to Denver, they gave up 6 sacks.
Sure.
Micah in 7 career games against them has 5 sacks, and he had a 2-sack game last year. So,
All right. I have Packers hold the Eagles under 250 total yards and sack Hurts 3 times.
I guess we're just having a sack party this week.
Yeah.
buddy.
Best day ever.
I wrote down that I was disappointed in the pass rush, so I had to write something down to do with pass rush.
All right, Simon, you got any you want to throw out there?
I got Luke Musgrave has a touchdown, and then Barkley's held to less than 60 yards of total offense.
I feel like he'd have to be kind of banged up for that because I feel like even if he's not running well, I feel like he's still got the receiving ability.
I would say rushing, I think I could get behind, but total offense, that'd be wild. That'd be awesome. Well, I think we win the game if we do that.
I think so.
I
Brian's
think
scores coming
mine
true.
and Brian's heart scores if we hold Saquon under 60 scrimmage yards.
Yep, that is definitely happening.
All righty. We appreciate everybody sticking around with us. It was a little bit of a longer one, but we had to flesh a lot of the stuff out with how the Packers kind of, like we said, kind of embarrassing loss. It wasn't even –
You're muted.
Just kind of the way that it went. So we appreciate everybody sticking around with us. And again, like, season's not over. It's not anything like that. Like, it sucks losing Tucker Kraft. That to me is the bigger blow than losing the game, losing Tucker Kraft. So, but yeah, a really big opportunity for the Packers to get back on track. A win against the Eagles, I think, would calm a lot of emotions from this past week and would get the Packers, like I said, back on track. So thanks everybody for sticking around. We'll be back again next week to recap the Eagles game. So we'll see you guys next week.
Go Pack.